What's up, everyone? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Jeff Spiegel. Today, we have the privilege of being joined by Olivia Garvey. Olivia is a fanatic when it comes to the Dodgers, also a sports reporter and anchor in Washington, D.C. The Dodgers play the Nationals this weekend. So, Olivia, this was a perfect excuse for us to have you back on the show. Thank you for joining us. How are things going? You mentioned you're back in the studio. Things returning to life a little normal for a sports reporter?
Yes, finally, it feels so normal now. Oh, well, almost to that normalcy that we used to have. Yeah, when I last spoke to you, like I said a minute ago, I was at home in my studio, my home studio. Now I'm back in studio, and it is so fun being here with everyone. Like I finally get to see my teammates, all my guys here, and that's always really fun. So it's been really nice. It's finally feeling what normalcy is here in DC. I never got to
Yeah.
experience it when I got here. I moved during a pandemic. So this is really fun. It's really great to be around everyone.
Awesome. Well, and I know you're excited because the Dodgers are coming to your new hometown to play the Nationals.
Yeah.
And I think I asked you this last time. What's it like for you to be covering a team like the Nationals when the team that you're staying up until 1, 2 a.m. in the morning to watch in the Dodgers comes to town? I mean, is it a subtle fandom when the Dodgers are in town? Is it sort of a very loud and proud fandom? How do you handle Dodgers at Nationals?
I think that I will be working 2 games during this series. I'll be going live from Nats Park. I don't know how that happened, but it's going to happen. And it's going to be, I'm going to have to like take a step back because I grew up, you know, with the Dodgers. I grew up going to Dodger Stadium, and now I go to Nats Park all the
Yeah.
time. Well, now I do. And I think I'm gonna have to take a step back behind home plate, look at either side, and say, okay, this is my family, this is my home, but now this is my
Yeah.
work. And it's so fun to have these two worlds collide like that for me because I mean, I've always dreamt of being a part of baseball and, reporting on baseball.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to be able to do it with the team that I grew up watching and the team that I really call family. Now going up against the team that I talk to almost every single
Yeah.
day. So it's just so funny. And I think it is so cool that I get to have that experience for myself. And my dad is just so excited for me to be able to, be on the field with these teams that are such a big part of my life.
Yeah.
It's so great. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Well, you'll probably.
And I will be cheering. I will be a fan on Sunday, and I will be cheering for my Dodgers. But if Kyle Schwarber and my guys here hit some home runs, I'm going to be
Yeah.
clapping. I have to.
No, I'm wondering if you have people in your life that are going to call you if you're not nice enough to the Dodgers when they're going to be watching your Nationals reports and say, hey, maybe go a little easier on the Dodgers, maybe talk us up a little bit. You have those people in your life?
I do. I have some people from LA that are very close to the situation.
Fair.
And we're like, we're going to see you wearing Dodger blue, right? We're going to see you wearing Dodger blue. And I told them, I'm like, look, do you want the Washington fans to hate
Right.
me? No. So I will be wearing colors in between. I will be wearing red because I wear red everywhere here because every team here
That's
has
nice.
red on their uniforms and jerseys. But no, I gotta respect where I am
Totally.
and the people that love the Nationals because they love the Nationals here. But what's so great about being here is that they respect where I came from and the team that I love. So, I don't know.
I love it. No, I get it.
I bought a new Dodger hat for this series, so I'm gonna wear it on Sunday.
There you go. Good for you. Well, let's talk about the games. We have an exciting, fun
Yes.
series to look forward to. The Nationals, such a fascinating team. You can give us some insight here. They were off to such a slow start. Now they've won 13 of their last 16. As we're recording this, they're winning their game today. They're still just a game over 500, 3 games back of the Mets. So we're going to talk about Kyle Schwarber in a moment because that guy's on another planet right now. But aside from Kyle Schwarber, what have you seen change in the last few weeks where a team that looked like they might be sellers at the deadline are now one of the hottest teams in baseball?
That's funny. You ended with sellers at the deadline, and Scherzer could
Yeah.
very well be. The Nationals could be selling, but now you just said they're 3.5 games back of the Mets. They're in second place here. They're thinking to themselves, okay, no,
Right.
no, we're not selling him away.
Yeah.
It's so funny because you talk about the beginning of this, season, and I think I was on with you guys, and they were really
Yeah.
struggling. The bats were struggling, the relief pitchers were struggling, but now the pitching is there, the relief is there. Brad Hand is all of a sudden just becoming this guy that we can all count on here in Washington to end these games, end these really close games. And it's really fun to watch. Now, now the bats. I mean, and I know we're going to talk about Kyle Schwarber in a second, but it has just been a domino effect, starting at the top with that leadoff hitter that we all know, love, and will hit a home run for us almost every game. And now everyone else is following, and that has been really great to see. And the vibe from the team is different now too. You know, you get on these Zoom phone calls and everyone's just a little bit perkier. Everyone is just loving what they're doing, and this team is just having so much fun. Now, they haven't played teams like the Dodgers and the Padres, who they will be facing right after the Dodgers. Not sure how that happened. So they're going to be in a situation where it's going to test how good this team really is before the All-Star break.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's talk about Schwarber. I wrote that he's on fire, but the phrase on fire seems like it's too light to describe. I mean,
it doesn't even describe.
You said one home run. Like he hits multiple home runs, it feels like, every night. So what clicked? I mean, what clicked for this? We know he had it in him, right? His deal with the Cubs was always like, you know, for the Dodger fans, he was a very Jock Peterson-esque type of player where it was boom or bust, tons of power, tons of home run, but there was some strikeout, there was some defensive. You don't really know all the details of where it's going to fit. But when those guys are right, they are right. And Schwarber is more than right. He's on fire. So what has clicked for him? And then how has that impacted the rest of the offense?
Yeah, it's so funny because so we know Schwarber has this power. Obviously, we're seeing it now, but people knew that before. I mean, they knew it when he was with the Cubs. I mean, he wasn't doing well, I think, their World Series year, the year they won the World Series. He wasn't doing great in the season, but they brought him back because they knew he could be a guy in the post that could bring these runners in and hit home runs. And that's what he was usually known for. But now it's like he can't miss. I mean, he struck out today in first step out of the game for the Nationals. Of course, our leadoff guy, he strikes out and everyone's just like, whoa. Yeah. Like, that's not right. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. But it's just so funny that this is where we are now. I mean, he just passed Bryce Harper for most home runs in a single month for the National League. He's just hitting 2-run homers like there's no tomorrow. And Scherzer said it best. He's like, we love those home runs, but we love 2-run home runs. And that's what he's been bringing. And like I said, it's a domino effect. Like, he started to do really, really well. And then Josh Bell, who we know has that power, has that lefty power. He's hitting really good now too. Trey Turner is back in the swing of things, you know, hitting a double, a home run, and a single today on his birthday. And then everyone's just clicking and the chemistry's working. And I always say in baseball, once one guy gets in the groove of being at the plate and hitting really well, it's contagious. And the Nationals are proving that every single day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as Dodger fans, that's what we're hoping to hear. We'll talk Dodgers here in one more second. One last Nationals question for you. Pitching. I mean, what's interesting is you're talking about the offense. I mean, the Nationals are 25th in the league in runs per game. Obviously, that probably explains a lot of the slow start that they had where they were 12 games under 500 just a couple weeks ago. But they're 12th in ERA, so they've been okay from a pitching perspective. The Dodgers are going to see Corbin, Scherzer, Espino, and Ross this weekend. What kind of things might we expect from that crew playing against the Dodgers?
They're going to be on top of their game. They're going to be, they face good hitters all the time, but the Dodgers are great hitters. That lineup is unbelievable. Lately, they haven't been on top of their game. Yeah, exactly. We know that. We know that the hitting is struggling, and it comes down to, you know, the losses that we've seen, especially against the Padres. And we'll get to that another time. I find myself cheering left and right. I can't win here. But they're going to be on top of their game. Joe Ross, I mean, he took last year off, and this year he's had his ups and downs for sure, but he's just so good. And when he's on it, he's on it, and he's really fun to watch. Corbin, at the beginning of the season, was struggling. His velocity was low last season, and then it just started to be low at the beginning of this season. And so now he's starting to pick it up a bit, and that's been really fun to watch. And then Scherzer is Max Scherzer. I mean, he's not going up against the Dodgers and just letting it slide. He's going to be on top of his game. So it's going to be a really, really fun battle, you know, series between these two teams.
Yeah, I was hopeful that we were going to get Scherzer versus Kershaw, but because the Dodgers had an off day today, I think it messed it up a little bit. So it's Scherzer versus Urias,
I know.
And then Kershaw
because that's always such a fun matchup.
Totally. Well, talk to me about the Dodgers, your perspective. So I always joke that you might deserve the Fan of the Year award because you're tweeting about Dodger games at like 1:30, 2 a.m. East Coast time. And I was joking. I'm like, I'm tired at 10 o'clock, 10:30 our time. And here you are 3 hours ahead tweeting about the Dodgers, cheering them on. So obviously they get swept by the Padres. They've now won 5 in a row. They sweep the Giants. They got no hit. We hit rock bottom, but the last 5 games, where are you at with this team? I mean, like, have you lost? Is there any part of what you've seen this year that makes you change your opinion that you might have had of this group beginning of the season? Or you say, stay the course, be patient, second best record in the National League, Dodgers will be fine. Where are you at sort of on the continuum?
So it's so funny. You say the Dodgers hit rock bottom but what is rock bottom for the
Totally,
Los Angeles Dodgers?
Second best record in the National League.
Like rock bottom to the Los Angeles Dodgers is like what, I don't know, the Miami Marlins are going through 2 seasons ago, or what they're going through during their rebuild. It is a completely different rock bottom for the Dodgers. They're not rock bottom, but when you see them losing the series to the Padres, which they've already done before, it's a little nerve-wracking because what happens in the postseason? Yeah. You've got the Dodgers, you've got the Padres, you've got the San Francisco Giants, which I don't even know where they came from with their talent. Like their pitching is on point, their hitting is on point. They're in first right now. Totally. Like it's going to be so competitive, and that's what worries me because as Dodger fans, we're not used to, at least in the past couple of years. Padres a little bit last season, but not to this extent.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's been a fascinating season to watch. And like you said, seeing the Padres series followed by the Giants series is kind of like the entire spectrum of the Dodger fan experience thus far. But it's an interesting point. I like the way you put it about understanding the Dodgers. The Dodgers rock bottom was when they had the second best record in the National League. And we're all freaking out and like, oh my gosh, we've hit rock bottom. It's like, there's other teams that would kill to have the rock bottom that the Dodgers would have. I mean, even we're talking about the Nationals. The Nationals have won 13 of 16 to get to 1 game over 500. So rock bottom for them was 12 games under 500. Or I should say 11 games or 9 games under 500 there. So,
but isn't that great that that's like our rock bottom?
Totally.
Like,
Totally.
And when I say the Marlins, I mean, they're currently in a rebuild right now, and people are like, okay, they're rock bottom. And then we say, oh my God, like, look at us. Like, we're dying over here. And we're in second.
Totally.
And it's like we're going to climb back up eventually because once the Dodgers bats start working again, once we have everyone healthy, it's going to be fine.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, Corey Seager, we're hopefully just a few weeks away from Corey Seager being back. And then all of a sudden, this bench offensively that once was depleted will now have all these familiar names on it. And we'll have depth with McKinstry and Pollock. And so things kind of settle into place. So, well, Olivia, first of all, we appreciate you staying true to your roots, rooting for the Dodgers, even, making the business decision. You got to be unbiased when you're working, but Sunday you get to go to the game, wear the new hat. Good for you. We look forward to following you on Twitter. A great follow on Twitter if you want to see a Dodger fan on East Coast time, watching the same thing that we're watching. So best of luck to you this weekend, Olivia. Good luck with all the TV stuff that you've got. And, of course, go Dodgers. We appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you. I will be tweeting till 3 a.m. if I have to. I bleed blue, as Tommy Lasorda says.
Love it. Well, the good news for you when they go play the Nationals is that everything's on East Coast time. A lot of 4:10 starts our time, so 7:10 yours. It's like East Coast. You're the one person rooting for East Coast games, I think.
I know. And I would apologize, but it's my job.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you again, Olivia. Best of luck this weekend, and go Dodgers.
All right, Jeff, thank you so much.
The best team holding a trophy high in the air. The Los Angeles Dodgers, champions of the baseball world.